Hello,
Assalamu alaikum.
welcome back to Dastan Gehi.
I am Master Saab.
I am Dr. Saab. Tell us, Master Saab, where have you been gallivanting?
I watched the movie because I did not get a chance to watch it when it was on the cinema. But a good print came out, so I watched Life.
Life of Pi or just life?
Just Life.
Just
It's a
Life.
beautiful life.
It's beautiful. It's a wonderful
Oh,
life.
it's a wonderful life. So there's
There's a movie,
where's the Will Smith one?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh. And It's a Wonderful Life is that
It's a
World War
really,
II one?
yeah, a really old movie. And
The-
then there is Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. Which one was that?
This is that French movie in which the son of Pink Panther actor is.
Oh,
in.
that one's called Life is Beautiful.
That is called Life.
So
is
it's a
Beautiful.
Wonderful Life कौन से वाली है?
It's a Wonderful Life is also a really old 1950s, 60s, I think, की movie है.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, so that was like, so the one I watched was about an alien which kills life.
So it's about life which takes life.
Yes, and put in this premise that that's what life does. In order for life to survive,
It
life
has to.
destroys.
Life destroys. So obviously, if you haven't seen the movie Life, you can pause this right now and watch the movie and then return back to us.
Oh yeah,
Because there will be spoilers. There will be
Yeah.
spoilers.
yeah. Well, I think if you watch the trailer, the premise that a bunch of astronauts in a space station, they basically find an organism which is extraterrestrial.
Mhm.
So that's not a spoiler because that happens in the first like 2-3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, but now if you haven't watched it, stop listening. Go watch it because we might accidentally give a spoiler or some shit like that.
Or deliberately give you spoilers. So, first off, I was looking forward to this, and the cast was interesting as well. It has
Cast was very interesting.
Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and that Japanese guy. I don't know the actor's name, but he's like in a lot of movies right now. He was in Wolverine as well.
Oh yeah, he was. in
And
Wolverine, yes.
he was also the astronaut in Sunshine.
Oh, he was.
He was.
Oh, Sunshine, a very, very interestingly very similar movie. It's interesting you bring that up.
Yeah. Sunshine. So basically, it's a bunch of astronauts living up in the International Space Station.
Hmm.
So they're comprised of the different nationalities.
There's an Indian.
But for
there's-
some reason, the two hotshot main guys were American. The rest were English and Russian
Oh, they were
and
both
Japanese.
American?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal characters.
And the girl.
The girl was one of the main girls, was also American. The other was Russian.
So it's like like a whole bunch of American astronauts in an international thing, and there's just like this one token Russian, one token, and all the other the non-American ones they die off.
Yeah, obviously. But the surprising part in this movie was that the token black guy does not die first.
No, he doesn't die at first.
At
But
first, when shit is about to hit the storm and he's experimenting on the
Yeah,
in the
you
alien.
think he would. Yeah.
I thought he
Spoilers now
would.
happening. Spoilers happening.
Spoilers happening. Turn around.
Alright.
But he does not die. He is incapacitated, and then which leads to the death of.
He was a wheelchair bound.
He
Gentleman.
was paraplegic.
Right. Maybe that's why he didn't die.
Maybe that's why he didn't die. So
But he did die.
he does die eventually. Everybody dies. But so the thing is, when I was watching this movie, the first 20 minutes were brilliant.
All right.
I was like, okay, this is really cool. I could totally see that the filmmaker was heavily inspired by Alien and
Definitely.
and this, I mean, and it's it's totally fine because he was making an alien for this generation and for himself.
Right.
So he did a good job, even like in some scenes in which they're sitting around the dinner table and talking about stuff like they do in the first Alien movie
Right.
when the chest busting scene happens. So it was very reminiscing of that
All right.
of that scenario. But then when things go south, then it took like a sort of like a different turn, in which the alien was like pretty huge. It was like a huge creature, and this was like really small and
Started going.
it started growing.
Right.
But then, as in, I knew that he was like trying to find his own way, and interesting to see that when he started finding in his own way, the movie also started turning a bit south. But that doesn't mean that it was bad. Like I wasn't bored throughout the movie.
I got a little bored by the end because for me, I didn't see anything new in the movie. It was a bunch of astronauts isolated in a place. Something is aboard, killing them one by one. I think what the movie does do is it it puts in that extra little philosophical talk and stuff, and it's made well, and it actually fools you. It
Okay.
fools you into thinking there's some kind of a very thought out, intellectual, philosophical science fiction movie. It's actually not. It's just a monster who's gonna kill everybody one by one.
Hmm.
And it also suffers one more thing, which I thought Interstellar suffered from. Because it's made well and the sequences are good, it kind of disguises the fact that it's actually written really bad.
But Interstellar wasn't written bad.
I'll tell you what I mean. In terms of characters and dialogues,
Yeah.
Interstellar just had a great plot.
Yeah.
But it's what Interstellar suffered from is what this suffered from. Each and every single characters, their dialogues are interchangeable.
Hmm.
You can pick up any person's dialogue, give it to any other person, it won't seem odd.
But that's what you get with a monster sci-fi movie.
No, we've seen other movies. We've seen movies which are like bad as well. But like okay, this is the kind of things this guy would say. This is the kind of thing this guy would say. Even if it's like really bad B movie and you have a bunch of characters, at least they're very distinct from each other. These characters are like really monotone, and here's the problem: they all had the same drive. They all talked the same way. They all had this. Everybody after 2 minutes had this little opinion they had about life and the meaning of life. And I really hate this alien, but I shouldn't because that's not scientific. And everybody's agreeing, and everybody then says something similar as well.
Hmm.
That's the problem with this movie. That was the problem I had with Interstellar. Why is everybody literally talking the same way, having the same views, having the same opinions?
I disagree with you there regarding Interstellar. But yeah, this movie had like an identity crisis, which it really it now to come to think of it, I find it like really funny. It's it's the reflection of the world we live in right now. Because even though there's a freaking monster that's killing you, and everyone like, dude, do not offend the monster by saying he's evil. He's not evil. He's just acting out the way he's supposed to act out.
And personally, I think that's fine if you have one character with that view, and somebody has a. I mean, say the Ryan Reynolds character, he had a slightly different view, but it wasn't contrasting enough. He would still, if they would say, okay, listen, we've made our mind collectively. This space station commune has decided we're not gonna kill it, and he'll go, acha, okay, fine. I want to,
No,
fine."
but exactly that's the thing. I think if we break it down completely, there's like a huge a message behind this. Like Ryan Reynolds is the generation that we basically barely like dodged. We barely made. Take it like, because right after us, it's all the new millennials and all crazy level generation. But Ryan Reynolds was that last piece of that generation left, because he was like, in the beginning he was making jokes, offending jokes, and he was funny.
Agreed, but
and everything.
it still wasn't obvious enough. That's like having to really.
No, that's
see
what I'm
the-
saying. Yeah, if you break it down completely,
Yeah.
then.
But it was too subtle, I mean, look, at the end of the day, and then secondly, look, most people when they're gonna watch that, they're not gonna look at these subtleties and commentaries that they're trying to make about society. Okay, they just want to
I
watch a
know.
science fiction movie, and even at that, it kind of failed in my opinion. The only thing I liked, spoiler, can we talk about the ending or no?
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
we just said everybody dies.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, you can.
I mean, the ending is again a lot of movies recently. I realized that a lot of them are like they're really like mediocre, and then they pull off this really cool twist ending, or a surprise ending, or just a good ending in general.
I didn't think the ending was itna bada twist, because I could see it happening.
It wasn't a twist, but it was
Yeah.
the only thing that made me go, oh, okay, cool, fine. Otherwise, the movie was, for me, it was boring, man.
Acha, I didn't find it boring. I found it entertaining. There's been a lot of boring movies in the past
Yeah, of
year
course.
or two,
I
and
just put them as one of them.
I nowadays when I watch a movie, if I do not enjoy the first 10 minutes, I just turn it off. I don't have time for experimenting now.
I did forward some of it, I must
Yeah.
admit.
So this I did not forward. I mean,
alright.
I saw the whole thing. The
Yeah.
first 20-30 minutes I was really gripping, and then later on it was like a movie. I was watching it, and now I had invested in it.
Sunshine was better.
No, Event Horizon was better.
Obviously
Yeah.
better.
So.
Oh yeah, I think Event Horizon is the gauntlet or the benchmark that
Event
this
Event
particular
Horizon
genre-
was a better Sunshine because
oh no, definitely.
because the stories were the same.
I just mentioned Sunshine because this you mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Event Horizon would be the better one out of the whole lot.
Yeah. So because the plot behind Sunshine was crap.
What other movies come into this generic basic plot? So we've mentioned Event Horizon, we've mentioned Sunshine.
Sunshine.
We've mentioned this one we just saw. What's this one called?
Life,
right?
Yeah.
Alien, the first
Alien.
one, definitely.
True.
Alien 3, sort of.
No, I don't know. Like,
Comes near, but not exactly.
But it's not even set in space.
No,
Alien
it's just
3.
isolate people in a space prison.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about like isolation
No,
and
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
then the
space
best
station,
one is
yeah.
the Thing.
So let's stick to space stations.
Space stations. Yeah.
So
Uh,
there is another one I saw as a kid. I can't remember it, man.
Yes, you're right. There was a film in which I remember the actors. There was Lou Diamond Phillip and let me look it up. I think I don't have my phone, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. There was a black captain,
Yeah.
and
I'm sure there are quite a few actually.
there are quite a few. Yeah, exactly. But hierarchy-wise, I think obviously Aliens is at the top.
Right.
And then you have Event Horizon. I don't know, did Event Horizon do better in box office?
I don't know.
I don't think so. It was one of those movies which was like, which had a cult following
I don't know,
eventually.
we'll have to look it up, but it was good. No, I think it did good when it came out. as
Really?
well. Yeah.
Boy, it was good. It was like proper scary. But then it was Sunshine was like the exact chop of Event Horizon with
Oh,
a
yeah.
bad plot.
Yeah. Well, any plot was okay, but yeah, I mean,
I mean, it was
especially
a-
with
it
that
was
scene,
a-
which one of them goes all, they start
No.
seeing things, and the guy comes with all burnt and skinless.
No,
and-
but that's the thing. The whole horror aspect and everything had nothing to do with the plot. Like they're going to ignite the sun, which
well,
which
with
is like
but the-
ridiculous in
the
itself.
Thing,
But
the thing with Sunshine is that as far as the characters go, I mean, yeah, and if you compare it to Event Horizon, it's bad. But as far as the characters go, at least all the characters had these very distinct personalities, which was better than life. you know.
yeah, but I mean, you don't watch a movie for distinct personalities. There have been movies in which there has been distinct personalities, but the plot has been really bad.
Yeah. So this was one of the things life got wrong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so as you all can see, we have like a very different approach towards this movie. I enjoyed it, and I thought it wasn't bad. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, but Master Saab was
6.
disappointed.
But now,
But 6 isn't that bad. You're portraying it to be like a very. It was like the worst movie of this
no,
year.
it wasn't the worst movie of the year. I'm just pointing out the things because I know the things that are good. You pointed out. So I'm just pointing out the things which I thought weren't good.
Yeah.
I mean, I still watched it. It's not like I turned it off in the middle.
Hmm.
But क्या कहते हैं? But now, Dr. Saab, can you tell us the strange rumors that surround this movie?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people. There's no word from the studios, and I hope they're listening to the rumor mill which is spinning, and I hope they'd be like, oh yeah, that this was our original idea. Is that this movie could be a prequel to Venom, which is being released next year by Sony Pictures. And the situation with Spider-Man that they have in the studio, in which Marvel has rented him out to appear in the Marvel universe, but
Actually, Sony now can't use Spider-Man basically.
Sony has rented basically it out to Marvel. Marvel can use it in their movies, and there's like a gentleman's agreement that Sony will not have like a Spider-Man movie unless they talk to the Marvel Studios and ask them what their plan is. But that being said, the movie that is coming out right now, Spider-Man Homecoming, is made by Sony Pictures. They've hired people and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah.
But what do you call it? But the thing is this. So this Venom, they're really gonna have to make a Venom. TK Venom has had his own comics, but they're gonna have to make this Venom with no connection to Spider-Man, basically, right?
With no connection to Spider-Man.
Or can they like mention him and stuff?
They will probably mention him. They will probably say, okay, oh, originally they like last year there was this release of secret emails. Somebody hacked the Sony executive accounts, and in which there were emails in which there were like some of them were like really bad ideas. They were downright starting off with the Secret Six movies, which was supposed to be like a Suicide Squad for Sony, and Venom was about to come out. But the surprising thing was they were like, we don't need to explain it. The fans will watch it. We don't give a shit. It's gonna start. There was like a actor Channing Tatum.
He was gonna be Venom.
He was gonna be Venom, and they were gonna adapt the Flash Thompson storyline, in which he was a soldier. And
you know what? The Flash Thompson storyline, I think, can do better without Spider-Man than Eddie Brock.
Exactly. So that's what they were doing. They were like,
shall we let
we
them
don't
know?
Care.
Because a lot of people might not
know.
know.
Please,
okay, so basically Venom, a lot of you might be familiar with Venom, either from the comics, from the cartoons, or from the third Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, in which a gentleman known as Eddie Brock, who hates Spider-Man, gets merged with this alien symbiote, which becomes his costume as well, who also hates Spider-Man. So these two people merge and they become Venom. The Flash Thompson storyline of Venom, something that happened much later, quite recently, is that Flash Thompson, a regular character,
the best friend of like
Spider-Man, initially a bully of Spider-Man, later becomes friend. So he goes to Vietnam or Afghanistan or something, and he loses legs. Then he gets volunteered for this super soldier program, but that super soldier program isn't some chemicals injected. It's when they actually bond the soldier with a Venom symbiote, and thus he becomes Agent Venom. That's what they were calling him. And he's in total. And apparently, this guy, because he loves Spider-Man, he doesn't have this rage that the symbiote can feed on. He actually has complete control over Venom.
Yeah, but and also another caveat of this is that he can only use the Venom powers for like limited periods, because the more he uses them, the more it will have a control over them.
Oh, another thing is this: without the Venom, he can't walk.
He can't walk.
So I actually quite like this.
I know
Venom.
It basically reminds you of 1970s Silver Age comic books, in which their reason for choosing Flash Thompson is really stupid, by the way.
I don't know.
The reason is that let's use this soldier who doesn't have legs, because then people won't be able to think that this is the Venom soldier, and everyone was like, that's smart. So it reminded me of like a.
So Flash Thompson lost his legs way before they decided about the Venom thing.
In the storyline, he loses his legs. He's in rehab. So the top generals and whatnot.
So they don't reveal it in the beginning.
They don't. Yeah, they're like, let's make him Venom because people won't suspect a crippled man being our super soldier. Which is such a 70s Silver Age comic thing.
It's interesting. In the 90s, there was an Image series called Wetworks.
Okay.
And what it was a bunch of soldiers who get bonded to this living alien alloy, and in a way it was like a team of Venoms, by the way.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. With the Venom symbiote, actually something little tidbit interesting, because comic I read. Trivia: do you know who Venom symbiotes, all the symbiotes, every symbiote there is, hate more than Spider-Man?
Who?
They hate him more than Spider-Man. In fact, if they see him, they will drop Spider-Man even if Spider-Man was near dead. Like, we don't care about you, and they'll all just rush to kill this one character they hate even more than Spider-Man.
Who?
Silver Surfer.
Oh, because of the space thing.
Because Galactus destroyed the symbiote homeworld.
Oh, interesting.
And there's this really, really cool comic book in which Silver Surfer just happens to be passing by New York, and Carnage you know, the
Yeah,
red
yeah, yeah.
psychopath Venom type symbiote happens to be nearby,
Hmm.
and the Carnage symbiote just leaves him. You know, "Hey, where are you going?" Where he doesn't care and just jumps on him, and he takes over
Nice.
Silver Surfer.
Whoa.
And so there's like a cosmic powered Venom running around New York, and only Daredevil and Spider-Man are there to stop him. It was a really cool
Snap.
two-part comic.
Interesting. Speaking of comics and stupid storylines and whatnot, I came across this comic from the 90s. I don't know if you've read it or not, called The Hitman.
Oh yes, it came out of the crossover actually.
Oh, so I saw an article
It's
in
kind of
which
like a funny Punisher.
yeah, I came across an article
Huh.
in which they were like, what was the saddest scene in comic book history, and a lot of comments on that article were people like, man, Hitman, when people die and hit blah blah. They were like seriously
Huh.
a lot of fans of the book. So I thought I'll
no,
give it a
went
try.
well. I'll tell you what happened.
So, but let
yes.
me finish my story. So I picked up the comic book
Huh.
and I started reading it, and I was reading it and I was like, this is like Punisher, but set in the DC universe,
Huh.
sort of funny,
Huh.
sort of jokey and whatnot. And then because he was set in the Gotham City,
Huh.
and then something so ridiculous happened in the book that I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna read this anymore. In which at the end of the issue, Batman comes because there's like a vigilante and he has superpowers. So basically, he's Punisher, but he has extra vision,
Right.
and he's got telekinesis or something.
Right.
So this is the sort of guy he is. So he's going around killing people, like he's killing villains and whatnot and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden Batman comes and they come across each other, and Batman's like, I do not like vigilantes in my city. And the guy, quirks that, what are you talking about? You are the biggest vigilante of the city and blah blah blah. And Batman's like, I do not know what your plan is and whatnot, but I think you're killing off the bad guy, so you can't be a bad guy. But I'm not here regarding that. Then he was like, what are you here regarding? He's like, there is a rumor in the city that you are planning to assassinate the Joker, and I must stop you. And I'm like, why, man? What the hell kind of like, I mean, it pissed me so much that I was like, fuck Batman.
खैर ये तो हमारा पुराना है. Batman, I know. Sometimes Batman gets written really bad, man. Really bad.
I mean, what is it, this love affair that he has with the Joker? Like, कुछ भी हो जाए, मर जाए, no, you cannot kill Joker, you cannot assassinate Joker.
वैसे, interesting enough, if Hitman is like a inspiration, chop or whatnot of the Punisher, do you know what he came out of, what his origins are?
Bloodstream, bloodlines.
Yes. And that was like this whole, literally the aliens, the H.R. Giger wala aliens take by DC Universe, complete invasion.
And it was such a dark.
But you know what that did?
comic
But I'll
series.
tell you how it was structured. It's very interesting. So what they decided is these aliens, who look very much like those aliens with those double jaws and stuff, they've invaded, right? But what happens is, if any person who's carrying a latent meta gene in this universe is, some people have it and some actions
It's like
will trigger it.
their equivalent of
Right.
mutations.
Right. So if any person carrying a meta gene survives an alien attack, they basically turn to superheroes.
Yeah.
So what they did is, this event went throughout the annuals of the DC Universe. So every annual would introduce a new superhero. Most of them were crap. One or two were the ones that kind of like became real famous and then continued afterwards. So Hitman was one of them.
And they were like, let's make comics edgier for new
Oh
viewers.
yeah. 90s was all about that.
So they found out there was a kid living in Karachi who used to say, on. They were like, we need to cater to him. An inside joke, folks. So this is it for us today. We started off talking about life, and well, we ended up in a similar way, talking about aliens taking over the DC universe.
Yeah, aliens.
So so this is life, man. Life kills to live on. So keep on living, keep on killing, keep on rocking on.
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
And that's true even if you're a vegetarian. All right, bye-bye, take care.
Bye.